Greetings of the day. On behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, College of Engineering, Pune, I welcome you all for academic year 2021 and I wish you all the best for first semester. I am going to teach course entitled Numerical Methods and Computer Programming for third year BTech Mechanical Engineering students with the course code ME13001. Let me begin with my introduction. My name is Abhishek Patange. I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at College of Engineering, Pune, and also pursuing PhD in the domain of application of machine learning for fault diagnosis from VIT Vellore. I have completed my masters in design engineering from Savitribai Phule Pune University and BTech in mechanical engineering from College of Engineering, Pune. Area of expertise includes mechatronics, industrial fluid power, that is hydraulics and pneumatics, numerical methods, theory of machines with the specialization of analysis and synthesis of mechanisms, health monitoring and predictive analytics for various machine elements or machine components, data acquisition and instrumentation, and the application of machine learning for mechanical engineers. Along with that, I always adopt innovative teaching learning practices which includes case study based learning, project based learning, model based learning, and so on. My research related activities can be found using the links which I have shared here. My LinkedIn profile, Scopus profile, Google Scholar profile, and ResearchGate profile is stated here, which can be used to review the research related activities which I have done in the past and some of the ongoing activities also. I would like to brief about my publications which I have shared with my mentors and my students from previous institute and from COEP. The first publication is Novel Machine Health Monitoring System, which was advocated to develop a low cost data acquisition system using various sensors, MEMS based sensors, which is micro electromechanical systems based sensors, and open source hardware called as Arduino, which was integrated with MATLAB to acquire the data from various sensors. The second publication was development of 12 channel temperature acquisition system for analysis of heat exchanger, where 12 different type of thermocouples were integrated to signal conditioning module MAX6675 and Arduino to acquire the data in MS Excel so that the analysis of heat exchanger can be done. The third publication is related to milling cutter condition monitoring using machine learning approach, where the milling tool inserts and various defects were monitored according to vibration evolved during the machining and statistical analysis, and then the mathematical modeling for fault diagnosis was developed using machine learning approach for fault classification and prediction. The fourth publication is related to the innovative teaching learning and evaluation method, which is project based learning for UG course mechatronics, where the students were allotted with the mini projects in the group of 3 to 4 students, and they were asked to develop a prototype. And it is learned that as compared to traditional teaching learning methodology and evaluation, the program outcome attainments of this approach was improved, and hence the students were getting benefited. These all papers were published in Scopus Index journals. Two were in Springer, one is in the IOP publication, Institute of Physics Publishing Limited, United Kingdom, which is Web of Science also. And last paper, fourth paper, was published in Journal of Engineering Education Transformation, which is Scopus Index. The next paper is related to the system identification of XY flexural mechanisms by double parallelogram manipulator for high precision scanning, which is application of compliant mechanisms which are used for high precision scanning in the scanners, which is published in lecture notes of electrical engineering by Springer Publication Singapore, and it is Scopus Index. The next publication is related to tire supervision of tire pressure monitoring of two-wheeler using machine learning approach, where the vibration of wheel hub were acquired using accelerometer and statistical analysis was carried out, and the classification of various tire pressure conditions was addressed using machine learning algorithms. It was sent to journal called as Structural Durability and Health Monitoring, which is accepted for publication, and it is Scopus Index. The next publication is shared with my student from COIP named Aditi Rahegaonkar, which is Development and Experimental Assessment of a Fluid Flow Monitoring System using Flow Sensor and Arduino Interface. This is also publication related to development of low cost data acquisition system for monitoring the flow of a particular device, which is also accepted for publication in lecture notes of mechanical engineering by Springer Publication. This paper was presented in one of the conference by my student Aditi Rahegaonkar, where she bagged the first prize for best paper award. The next paper is related to machine learning approach for multi-point tool insert health prediction or vertical machining center. This was sent to journal called Measurement, which is published by Elsewhere, which is under review right now. The next paper are also related to some kind of machine learning approach which is used for tool condition monitoring and application of support vector machines, sequential minimal optimization for prediction of various tool faults and respective classification, which is also sent to reputed journals and which are under review right now. We hope that we will get good decision very soon. It was sent to a journal called as Manufacturing Letter Structural Health Monitoring by Sage Publication, which has very good impact factors for 4.8. Then another publication shared by my student, which is application of machine learning for tool condition monitoring in turning, where the single point cutting tool faults were analyzed using vibrations, and then the model was built using machine learning, which is also sent to one of the journal called Journal of Prognostics and Health Management, and which is under review. And very recently my student named Naman Bajaj has done the analysis and written a paper based on statistical analysis of national and municipal cooperation level database of COVID-19 cases in India, which is completed. Now we are about to submit it to one of the journal. So many such kind of publications are in progress and yet to publish. Are you really interested to contribute along with me? If yes, you are most welcome. The teaching, learning and evaluation, I would like to brief about it. Teaching scheme includes 2-hour theory lecture per week, 1-hour tutorial session per week, where we will be having practical session on MATLAB or Python. The examination scheme includes attendance and quiz for 10 marks. Test 1 will be for 20 marks. Test 2 is split into 2 parts, research based learning and evaluation for 10 marks and practical exam on MATLAB and Python for 10 marks. In the research based learning, students will be guided to select any kind of research paper which is being published, where application of any kind of numerical methods has been demonstrated and the solution was formulated, and there will be end-sem examination for 50 marks at the end of semester. Now syllabus of this subject, it is broadly divided into 3 parts. Unit 1 consists of bracketing and open methods, rate of convergence, numerical solution to linear and non-linear simultaneous equations using Gauss elimination method, Gauss-Seidel method, Gauss-Jordan method, relaxation techniques, eigenvalue problems, matrix inversion and tridiagonal system. It also includes the numerical integration using Newton-Cotes formula, Gauss quadrature, rhombus integration and double integration. Then the unit 2 includes the approximation by forward, backward, central and divided difference formulae, Richardson's extrapolation technique, higher order derivatives, least square techniques, linear exponential and multiple regressions, interpolation by Newton's formula, Lagrange spline interpolation, Hermite and Stirling formula, and the last unit includes solution to differential equations, numerical solution to differential equations. These ordinary differential equations like with Taylor series, Picard methods, Euler methods, modified Euler's method, Runge-Kutta method with second and fourth order, predictor-corrector methods, simultaneous and second order differential equations, and so on. Now the contents which are being highlighted by blue color are the syllabus which is included in the examination, GATE examination. If we see the syllabus for GATE examination with code ME, that is mechanical engineering, section 1 is included with engineering mathematics. There will be minimum 4 questions asked based on the mathematics and syllabus is given here, which broadly includes linear algebra, numerical methods, calculus, differential equations, complex variables, and now recently probability and statistics also have been included. So if you see here, out of minimum 4 questions, there will be 2 questions based on numerical methods, where the syllabus is given as numerical solution to linear and non-linear algebraic equations, integration by trapezoidal and Simpson's rule, single and multi-step method for differential equations. So if you target on these contents, you will be definitely able to solve at least 2 questions out of this numerical method syllabus from the GATE. Now there is announcement of GATE 2021 which is to be held by IIT Bombay. The dates of examinations are proposed as 5th, 6th, 7th, 12th and 13th and 14th February 2021. Now the eligibility criteria for GATE 2021 has been given, where a candidate who is currently studying in 3rd or higher years of any undergraduate degree or program, or has already completed any government approved degree program in engineering, technology, architecture, science and commerce and arts can apply for GATE examination. That means a candidate who is currently studying in 3rd year now also can be applied for GATE examination. So you all students can appear for GATE examination from this year. So this was the announcement. Now official website for the GATE 2021 is given here. Also the link for previous year question paper is also given. Each paper of total marks includes 100. Common general aptitude section will be for 15 marks, and main paper, that is mechanical engineering and mathematics paper, will be there for 15 marks. Verbal ability includes English grammar, sentence completion, verbal analogies, word groups, instruction, critical reasoning and verbal deductions. Numerical ability includes numerical computations, numerical estimations, numerical reasoning and data interpretation. The books which are used for our subject numerical methods and computer programming are standard books which are published by Tata McGraw-Hill Publications. The first book is Numerical Methods for Engineer by Chapra and Canale. Second book is by Veerarajan and Ramachandran, named Theory and Problems in Numerical Methods by Tata McGraw-Hill. And third book can be referred as book by Shastri, Introductory Methods of Numerical Analysis, Patience Hall of India, Delhi. The textbooks and reference book for subject numerical method and computer programming are given here. The first book is Numerical Methods for Engineers by Chapra Canale by Tata McGraw-Hill Publication. The second book is Theory and Problems in Numerical Methods by Veerarajan and Ramachandran by Tata McGraw-Hill Publication. And third book is by Shastri, which is Introductory Methods of Numerical Analysis by Patience Hall, Delhi. So the course outcomes are, at the end of the course, the student will be able to use numerical methods in modern scientific computing, determine the numerical solution of nonlinear equation in single variable, use numerical interpolation, estimate solution to problems using numerical integration and differentiation, and lastly obtain numerical solution to engineering problems using programming. Now let us start with the introduction to analytical and exact approach. If we consider a simple mathematical model which is consist of a formulation or equation that expresses the essential feature of a physical system or process in mathematical terms, or it can be represented as functional relationship of the form which is given here. It states that dependent variable is function of independent variables, parameters and forcing factors or forcing functions. Now dependent variables are nothing but the variables which reflects the behavior or state of system. It can be temperature, it can be noise, it can be vibration, it can be acceleration, it can be velocity. Independent variables are nothing but time or space along which the behavior of system is determined. Parameters describes the properties and composition of the system or model, and forcing functions are nothing but external influences acting on the system. Let us take one example. Newton formulated his second law of motion, which states that rate of change of momentum will give you resultant force. That means F is equal to m into A, where F is net force acting on a body, which is expressed in Newton or kg meter per second square. M is mass of object expressed in kg, and A is acceleration, which is expressed in meter per second square. Now if you see this formula, F is equal to m into A, where A is acceleration, we can say acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity, that is v divided by t. So if we formulate the formula as mass into velocity divided by t, which is nothing but the rate of change of momentum, because momentum is nothing but mass into velocity, and rate of change of momentum is nothing but mass into velocity divided by time. So if you consider mass separately and rate of change of velocity with respect to time, rate of change of velocity with respect to time is nothing but acceleration. So v by t is replaced by A, and m will remains as it is. So F is equal to m into A. This is the formula, or we can say a simple mathematical model for this particular example, or for Newton's second law of motion. Now this formula we can recast in the form of generalized equation, which we have seen in the very first slide, that we can divide both the sides by m. Why we are doing this? Because A is considered to be the dependent variable which has to be placed on left hand side of equation, F is the forcing function, and m is parameter which represents the property of system. Hence these both parameters F and m are to be placed on right hand side of equation. That is why the equation 1 has been divided by both sides by m, that we get equation as A is equal to F divided by m. Now we have to note one thing. For this simple case, there is no independent variable on the right hand side, because we are not predicting how acceleration is going to change with respect to time or space. That is why it is considered to be a simple mathematical model. Now the solution for this simple mathematical model can be easily obtained, but the thing is that other mathematical models which are consist of physical phenomenon may be very much complex and either cannot be solved by exactly or required more sophisticated mathematical techniques than simple algebra for their solution. Now to describe a more complex model of this kind, Newton's second law can be used to determine the terminal velocity of a falling body near to the earth's surface. Let us take example of a parachutist. Our falling body will be considered as a parachutist. A model for this case can be derived by expressing the acceleration as the time rate of change of velocity and substituting the same in equation 2. That equation 2 was acceleration is equal to F divided by m. Now we will replace that A with dv by dt, as acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. So we will replace A with dv by dt and write equation number 3 as dv by dt is equal to F divided by m, where v is velocity which is expressed in meter per second and t is time which is expressed in seconds. Now if you consider the three cases, the net force acting on this parachutist, if it is positive, then the body will accelerate. If it is negative, then the body will decelerate. And if it is 0, then the velocity will be constant. The velocity will remain constant. So if you see this parachutist, the body of parachutist, the two forces acting on it are shown here. One is Fd and another one is Fu. Now, in terms of the net force in terms of measurable parameters and variables can be expressed here. For a body falling within the vicinity of Earth, the net force is composed of two opposing forces we have just now seen in the diagram. The downward pull gravity of Fd and upward force of air resistance Fu. So we can say net force acting on parachutist is nothing but F, which is equal to summation of both forces Fd and Fu, which is equation number 4. But if a downward force is assigned a positive sign, the second law can be used to formulate the force due to gravity. That is nothing but Fd is equal to mass into gravitational acceleration. As we know, the g is gravitational constant or the acceleration due to gravity, which is approximately equal to 9.81 meter per second square. So this formula Fd will give you weight of that parachutist, that is nothing but mass into gravitational acceleration, which is to be expressed in Newton, which is equation number 5. Now air resistance can be formulated in variety of ways, but for our case we will consider a simple approach where it assumes that the air resistance is linearly proportional to velocity and acts in upward direction. So we will write equation as Fu, that is upward force, is equal to C into V, where C is proportionality constant, that is drag coefficient, which is expressed in kg per second, and V is velocity, so which is equation number 6. Thus, greater the fall velocity, greater will be the upward force due to air resistance. So if we consider net force is difference between the downward force and upward force, we get that dV divided by dt is equal to F divided by m, where F, as we know that it is difference between downward and upward force, which is nothing but mg minus cv. So substitute this value in the above equation, we get dV by dt is equal to mg minus cv divided by m. We will simplify this again to get equation number 8 as dV by dt is equal to g minus c divided by m into v. Now equation 8 is a model that relates the acceleration of falling object to the forces acting on it. It is a differential equation because it is written in terms of differential rate of change of velocity, that is dV by dt, that we are interested in prediction. Because if you want to predict the acceleration of that parachute, then you must consider the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. However, in contrast to the solution to Newton's second law of equation number 2, the exact solution of equation number 8 for velocity of falling parachute cannot be obtained using simple algebraic manipulations. Why? Because the rate of change of velocity is changing with respect to time. So that is not possible to formulate it using simple exact solution. Rather, more advanced techniques such as those of calculus must be applied to obtain an exact or analytical solution. Hence what we will do is, we will consider a case of parachute where the initial condition at when t is equal to 0, at when time is equal to 0, initial velocity of parachute will be equal to 0. And if we integrate it with respect to v and t with equation number 8, we will get the answer as velocity, which is function of t, which is equal to g into m divided by c in bracket 1 minus e raised to minus c divided by m into t, which is equation number 9. So now here, as we know that velocity is dependent variable, t is independent variable, c and m, that is drag coefficient and mass, are parameters, and g is gravitational acceleration, which is forcing function. So if you see this equation carefully, we have reformulated this equation in form of very first equation we had studied in the initial slides. Now let us take one example where the analytical solution to falling parachute problem is discussed. The problem statement states that a parachutist of a mass 68.1 kg jumps out of a stationary hot air balloon. Use equation 9, that is the previous equation, to compute the velocity prior to opening of the chute. The drag coefficient is assumed to be 12.5 kg per second. Now let us try to find out the velocity of the parachute with time instant starting from 0 till infinity. So as we have seen that value of m is given as 68.1 kg, that is mass. Value of c, drag coefficient, is given as 12.5 kg per second, and we know that value of g is 9.81. So we will start putting this value in the above equation. We get velocity is equal to 9.8 into 68.1 divided by 12.5, which is nothing but g into m divided by c. We have put the value there. Then 1 minus e raised to minus c divided by m, that is 12.5 divided by 68.1 into t. Now do one thing, keep that t as it is right now and just simplify this equation. You will get it as 53.39 in bracket 1 minus e raised to minus 0.18355 into t. Now what we have to do is we have to start putting value of t starting from 0, and then we have to find out velocity for each instant with some step size. Here we are considering step size for time as 2. So let us start finding out value of velocity when t is equal to 0. So what you have to do is you have to put the value of t as 0 in this equation. So now if you put value of t as 0, obviously velocity will be equal to 0, because it is assumed that initially when time is equal to 0, velocity is also 0, because there will not be any change in the velocity remains 0. Then you have to consider time as 2, you have to put t as 2 and you have to find out the velocity. So when t has progressed to 2 seconds, respective value of velocity is coming as 68.40. You people have to calculate this value to get the answer of velocity at respect to time instant. When we consider value of t as 4, we have to put it here. We get velocity of parachute when t is 4 is equal to 27.77. Then you have to put it as 6, you will get answer as 30.64. You have to put it as 8, you will get answer as 41.10. You have to put it as 10, you will get answer as 44.87. When it is 12, answer is 47.49. And then you just keep doing it by taking 14, 16, 17, 18. At one instant you will realize that the velocity of parachute remains same as 53.39. That means according to the model, the parachute is it accelerates rapidly. If you see this value, which is starting from 0, then after 2 seconds it is reaching to 16.40, then 27.77, then 35.64, then 41, 44, 47. That means within 12 seconds it is reaching to value near about which is equal to 53.39, which is considered to be the termination velocity or terminating velocity. That means according to the model, the parachutist accelerates rapidly. A velocity of 44.8 meter per second square is attained after 10 seconds. Note that after sufficiently long time, a constant velocity called terminal velocity of 53.39 meter per second square is reached. This velocity is constant because after this point the velocity will not change. It will remain constant because eventually the force of gravity will be in balance with air resistance. Thus, the net force is 0 and acceleration has stopped. So now if you plot the graph of velocity which we have calculated with respect to some time instant, you will find that velocity increases with time and asymptotically approaches a terminal velocity. So you can see terminal velocity amplitude is shown by dotted line. After sufficiently long time, it will reaches to the terminal velocity. So the equation 9 is considered to be the analytical or exact solution because it exactly satisfies the original differential equation. Unfortunately, there are many mathematical models that cannot be solved exactly. So in many cases, the only alternative is to develop a numerical solution that approximates the exact solution.